Well, let's get this episode of the Jam and She Show kicked off. Brandon Smith, over to you.
Hello and welcome to the bone. Or was that all you wanted me?
Mate, come on, you've set the tone last week.
Yeah, but it's 1 for 1.
That's 1 for 1. All right. Okay. Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Bye Round Jam and Cheese Show. Late night Monday recording, the King's birthday. Joined as always by Brandon Smith.
Hello, Jimmy. Thanks for having me. Why is it the King? It's not the King's birthday, is it?
I don't think like it's his actual birthday, but it's the King's birthday holiday long weekend in New South Wales. But no, I don't think it's his birthday.
It's not even, is it even close to his birthday?
I don't know. I don't have that information.
That's pretty sad.
I don't,
Charlie, that's pretty sad from a pommy.
What, you don't know the date of birth of like the head of
king?
state? Jeez, I struggle with recall, and of all the pointless knowledge in my head, the King's date of birth is not in there.
14th November.
Oh, we're way off.
I was about to say that as well, because I know.
I don't know, Mike, so no one would have heard it.
14th of November. Charlie White, thanks for chipping in there. A great weekend, Cheese. How was it? There's lots to get into with the football, with criticism of the loyal supporters of Newcastle, Lockie Galvin, score on debut, Daly Cherry Evans, out of the Origin team. But more importantly, how was the weekend for you?
Jeez, Jimmy, I actually can't remember the weekend.
In a way, you can't remember the weekend. You're
Shit, when was the weekend
intoxicated?
yesterday? No, not at all. I was my missus. Well, my partner, sorry, I get criticised for saying missus. My partner's families are here, so I was with them for the most part. I had training on Saturday, and it was extremely hard. I think that I trained today as well because I've got something to go to Melbourne on Thursday for. So I've made my schedule a bit different.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, the training's really ramped up. It was super hard Saturday. It was super hard today. Even harder. Actually, I enjoy training by myself more than I do because I
Really?
Yeah, because if I'm only competing with myself.
Yeah, but do you not find it good to just know where you are?
What?
Like when you
No,
doing
I'm telling you,
drills
the
with
targets
people?
they set are very hard to get. So if you get in the targets, that means you're doing all right.
Yeah, no, but just when you're having those little things creep into your brain and you're feeling tired and you're thinking, am I the only one? And then you see other people like, yeah.
Yeah, but Jimmy, that's where you compete with yourself. Are you telling yourself you're tired?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And then you fight through it.
But
also, like
to be honest,
the way that they made me do the fitness on Saturday was that they said to me, which is never ever a good thing to say to me, is just go your first rep, you got to go balls out and then hang on. And geez, I balls out like broken bronco. I did one in like 40 seconds flat.
20, 40, 60.
Yeah,
40 seconds.
Yeah, that was my first rep, and we only had like you only get 40 seconds rest. And mate, I was hanging on for dear life for the rest of the session. So, but I think it's good. I think I think they've got a good gauge on who I am and what to get me to tick, and that is one of the things to get me to tick. And I think the way I used to play for Melbourne was like that. It's just balls out, hang on.
Yeah. It's a lot of the way most teams train. That just go out, get after it, and just. See what you're made of. It can be the detriment of you though. Like I've had it before in a session.
Oh mate, my running technique went out the window. My head was swinging, but it is what it is. It's all good for me.
How annoying is it when a teammate, and maybe you should do like, say you do 5 20, 40, 60s Broncos, and everyone's like those that go hard and you just keep hanging in there, and then you get one numpty that saves themselves to the last one and like just comes home strong.
I'll give you
like,
this.
Hang on.
My first rep was 40 seconds. My last rep was minute 10. And
That's still good going.
minute 10 is not good going. It's not good going. I was disappointed. I stooped that low.
With all the training that you're doing, how long realistically are you? Like what's holding you back?
Nothing, just
just
I
precaution.
think like they sort of said to me, like I'm a long-term investment, and they don't want me to.
Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Exactly. And
Please be aware that you could lose all your money when investing in Brandon Smith.
fuck was that?
Anytime you hear like an investment advert, they throw that on at the end. Like,
Oh, no, I haven't been
investing in Brandon Smith is a risky business. Please be prepared to lose all your money. You're a long-term investment.
No, but
we want to see you out there now. Souths are on the brink, mate, of playing finals.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I went to the surgeon, I got the clear sort of my meeting, but we've got like a certain amount of blocks coming up, and I've got to tick all those off. Like I still get sore after training and stuff. So
In your knee or in like
Yeah.
other areas.
yeah,
Do you get any of that referral stuff where it's not the actual injury, it's all the other stuff around it?
yeah. That's what the worst thing is. It's like when I run, it's not the knee that's getting sore; it's the calf and the hammies. And because I've had like a slight bend in my knee for a long time, my hammies seems to be, annoying.
Let's get into it. State of Origin team was announced, and the most noticeable absentee is Daly Cherry Evans. The Queensland captain is out of the team. I don't like these axed, sacked phrases. I think they're not fair. He's not in the team. Tommy Dearden comes into the side. What do you make of it all, Cheese?
Like for me, I guess I'm a bit biased towards the fact that I like Cherry Evans. I like what he's done for the state, what he's done in that jersey. But when he gets knocked back for this, for a guy like Tom Dearden, that's done everything he possibly could do in clubland footy to earn that starting jersey, probably opens up another bench spot for maybe a replacement for Harry Grant.
I think Kurt Mann will take over that 14 role.
So, and Kurt Mann's very versatile. So I understand where it's coming from. I didn't think he deserved it, but like you can't knock Billy for picking someone like Tom Dearden over him. He's done such a good job in clubland. He had another great game on the weekend. Cherry Evans, but unfortunately, it is what it is.
See, Cherry Evans, unlike, any rep player, any big name player like he is, they want to go out in any area of football on their own terms. So whether that's the international stage, the Origin stage, any rep arena, clubland, there's an ideal that you do it on your terms and you say, this is my last year. You jump before you're pushed. Now, is Daly Cherry Evans in that echelon of play? People talk about you never own the jersey. You're always just borrowing it, keeping it warm for somebody else, and what's for the greater good. But no doubt Daly Cherry Evans would have had feelings for, I want this to be my last series and I'm going to go out on my terms. Now, that's been taken away from him. I feel for him in that sense that he's not being afforded the option to make that choice himself, and there's a number of reasons as to why. Obviously, form, he's not performed to the heights and the standards of yesteryear this season. The one standout game that he's actually had came 4 days after State of Origin 1. So, and obviously there's a contract issue, there's an age issue. But for me, Cheese, honestly, I think what's changed within 2 weeks, I think with a spine, with a halves pairing, you look, and people can go back and look at how they have changed mid-series. I think it's a big call to change your halves pairing mid-season, or mid-series. I think for Cherry Evans, it should have either been make this call pre-game 1, or you make it post-game 3. it just in my opinion, and I get that Slater would have agonised over this, but it's my feeling that for somebody of Daly Cherry Evans' stature in the game, it's either you're in for the series or you're not. You don't play one game. And I know New South Wales have had halves pairing before that they've chopped and changed with, but that's completely different circumstances. That's just my call. And I think what's noticeable about this is pretty much straight after Origin 1, it was being widely reported that DCE was gone. So it was Brent Reid was adamant that it's gone. And everybody
Your
around...
favourite saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
There's not always... What is it?
Don't worry about it, keep going.
No. Let's not drag ourselves down into that. But the fact that Brent Reid was reporting it, like, he's got that information from someone that's very heavily connected at Queensland. And the fact, like, such a big call has been leaked through the media, and he was... most people around the game were like, oh no, they'll wait and see what his performance is like. He couldn't have played any better against Brisbane. The first half against the Knights, he was good. The second half, they were dreadful. He should have got them that game. But anyway, again, what changes? One really good game, one not so good game. But the fact that this was coming out of Queensland camp, I think raises alarm bells that because...
There's a rat in the house, you reckon?
Well, just the fact that it's leaked out, it's not something you naturally associate with Queensland Rugby League.
There's a rat.
Yeah.
Or is it Brent Reid just throwing a massive dart and it connecting with the board? Which is what a lot of journalists do, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's the educated guess element, but...
The team got leaked as well before it came out.
The team got... Well,
so there is a rat.
Well,
the team was leaked.
I think teams get leaked, and that's understandable because it goes outside the realm of Queensland. So
is this the last game for Cherry Evans? Say Munster or didn't get injured. Is he still recalled though?
I think he would make himself available, but well, it probably depends on what the consequences of Game 3 are. If it's a series decider or potential for 3-0. I think for things like teams being quote unquote leaked, for example, Kurt Capewell, if he's told to stay behind in Sydney after they beat the Sharks, like he's not staying for a holiday or to go on a cruise ship around or whatever. He's not here for that. So if instantaneously it would be able Kurt Capewell's in the team, and clubs would know to be able to notify their players, but that's out of the Queensland's hands and that's out of their control. But the fact that it was so soon after Origin 1, so like the Thursday or the Friday before he played that game against the Broncos, that there was certain sections of the media that were so strong like that. I think it is probably a review of the processes and review of
if that is the case, that there is sort of inside information coming out of the Queensland camp, it's quite sad. That sort of thing would happen, especially under Billy's watch. Like I know he runs a tight ship, especially with debutants and stuff. Like you want to keep them out of the media, out of the attention of the coaching staff of the other team. But yeah, it's sad, but it is what it is, and what can you do about it?
Well, you can review who you give access to that information to.
Yeah, but how are you going to figure it out?
Well, it's a pure need to know basis. So I don't even know if Cherry Evans would have known himself. So it's obviously the coach who's confided in some people around what he's going to do, and then that has then filtered through.
Yeah,
which I guess it's un-Queensland-like. And I think just obviously moving on from DCE, who can walk away from the State of Origin arena, the rep arena, and be very proud as what he achieved there. But he doesn't get that chance to necessarily say goodbye. He doesn't get to exit on his terms, like I spoke about at the start, which I think, yeah, I reckon if you ask, and I can't speak for him, I'm just trying to think about what it's like to be a player. And geez, you're a rep player. If you'd rather be told before the series, and you can go, look, I want to thank everybody for New Zealand or for England, Great Britain, before the series starts, and then get dropped midway through or not picked, because then do you know what I mean? As a player, you'd rather not. I think Cherry Evans would rather have not played Origin 1 now, knowing what he knows. Do you know what I'm... So he gets that.
I get what you're saying, but it's hard. I don't know if I agree with it. Mm-hmm. Like, you reckon if I said to you, you're going to play Origin 1, but probably not play Origin 2?
Well, in DCE shoes, considering what he's done, I think he would like the exit strategy to be, I'd like to go out on my terms.
But if they won the game and he performed amazing, he's playing in the second game.
And obviously that's ifs and buts, isn't it? Yeah. And obviously you've got that. I guess I say that knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
But
hindsight, beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
But yes.
There are a few other, I guess...
the one I hate is Corey Horsburgh.
Not playing.
Yeah, he deserves to be in there. He had a great game against us. He provides that unpredictability in attack, that assholeness you need in Origin. I think he's perfect for it. He's fit as, I know he's fit. Like, I used to train with him at Cowboys. He's fit as, he can handle the minutes, he can offload. I just think it's a.
He's confrontational.
Yeah, he's the assholeness.
Yeah. He's after you.
Yeah.
Makes it personal.
Yeah.
I agree. I think your new teammate as well, Jai Arrow, can come into the middle. He's done an amazing job alongside Kaloa Matangi. But for me, I'm surprised that those two aren't in the mixer. And even for Beau Fermor to go out with the team and Capewell to come in. And I know Capewell does a fantastic job, and players like Liero do a fantastic job, but the point of difference, and maybe Billy's looking at it and assessing how much point of difference he needs. He's obviously got Tino and Carrigan that bring so much with the ball. Obviously, the opposite side of the ball, Jeremiah Nene as well is a great attacking player. Maybe he feels he just needs those workers in the team. Maybe.
Speaking of workers in the team, where is that Hubner? He plays for Rabbits.
I know who Hubner. Yeah.
Yeah. Where is he from? Is he a Queenslander?
I think he is. Yeah.
Because he fucking deserves to be there too. Yeah. Like, I'm not even like pumping him up because he's my teammate, but what I watched from him, like in that game,
he's from Rockhampton.
Yeah.
Which is in
there you go.
Queensland.
What I watched from him on the weekend, from a footy player watching a footy game, he's got every trait to be an Origin player.
He's really offset the loss of Cam Murray for South this year.
He's done such a good... But yes, back to the...
I mean, not really much you can do in the outside.
Was there many changes for New South Wales?
Straight swap. King goes in to the starting lineup for Mitch Barnett, and then onto the bench comes Stefano Utoi-Ikamanu.
Oh, King, what a player.
Yeah.
He's playing with such confidence at the moment, because I just watched him do things on last game that he does not do, like shooting out of the line and smacking some bloke. I've never seen him do that.
Yeah, I know. He's the epitome of the person that comes out of Origin a better player.
Yeah.
And I even spoke to him at a function the other day, and he was questioning himself whether he belonged with the likes of Payne Haas and some players like that. And then he quickly figured out, oh no, I belong here.
Yeah.
And I think Laurie Daly gave him a huge boost of confidence, saying, mate, you're going to be on at the 20-minute mark. You're my first interchange, assuming everything goes to plan.
Yeah.
No, I think he performed.
Yeah.
I think he's really grown from that Origin experience, and the Dogs will be the big benefactor. He had a horrible run of injuries, and poor lad in Melbourne, he sort of salvaged his career. It was almost last chance saloon for him. He was staring down the barrel of being one of those players that goes if only. But what a transformation. So yeah, not too many changes in New South Wales team, which I guess is to be expected.
Well, they've won the last 3 in a row now, haven't they?
Yeah. So I mean, for the pressure is on Queensland, and now there's a lot of media pressure as well. Billy Slater is obviously has faith in this team. He'll have been over every single available Queenslander. I guess us in the media would say this is what I do. I'm not watching Corey Horsburgh or Jai Arrow's game in the level of detail. I think you have to. You back.
You have to know what you want.
Well, you have to know what you want, and maybe that thing around some quote unquote workers, pure workers in the team that aren't going to need to do much with the ball. They're not there to create or dent the line. They're just there to get through their work. But with that, it comes the responsibility. And Slater would know this. He spoke quite openly about that. He knows he takes control of this team, and he has the final say with selection. So, but a lot of pressure, and a lot of scrutiny. Even to bring in Ezra Mam, and obviously people. I think it's more people this side of the border in New South Wales that are critical, and he's just in the squad as a backup. I think really it's probably due the dilution of availability, and also the fact that maybe if you'd gone with Reece Walsh, it maybe generates a little bit of. I don't think Reece Walsh is a player you bring in as a player 18, 19 or 20. But Ezra Mam is, because he hasn't quite been there yet. Were you surprised to see Ezra in?
Oh, I wasn't surprised. I feel like he's been playing good footy, although Broncos, apart from this weekend obviously, but Broncos have been struggling. He played a couple of good games. They would have got flogged a couple of weeks ago if he wasn't playing. So he's probably done if you're picking on pure form, he's probably done the job to be inside the squad. But at the end of the day, what Ezra's done is done. Yeah. In my opinion, he's served his time. I don't agree with what his time was, but he can't. He doesn't get to decide what his punishment was. We don't get to. We can judge him for all we want, but I can and fans can. But he did what he did what legally he had to do. He served his time. He's playing good football. You can't pick someone on the crimes they've committed earlier, and when they've served the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's an interesting one because...
But it does create headlines around Queensland.
I agree with you, but we've seen some players have their cards marked before for off-field indiscretion and not come into the rep arena because of things that have happened away from the field. Yeah. Which, again, I don't necessarily agree with. Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's you save your time, you move on, and I've had that before where I've been given the opportunity to move on from certain incidences and whatnot. I think it's but I know some others haven't, and that will again,
but he's still serving his time in the eyes of the fans in the game. He's getting criticised more than any player in the game at the moment, especially at away games. So
I think to be honest, I think he's handled it really well. With his level of performance coming back in. Just quickly on the Broncos while we're talking about them, huge shout out to everybody at that football club that with the idea, the promotion and the execution of the black jersey. Yeah.
That could be one of the coolest ever playing attires I've ever seen. And it was just all black. It just looks sharp, eh?
It did look sharp, but it was more about, for me, it was more about
obviously
what the meaning behind it. I thought Katoni Staggs spoke so well at halftime and full time about the meaning behind it. Look, for me, for someone who's suffered with mental illness for a number of years, it's I know there's a lot of people out there that struggle. I did as well. Struggle to find the courage to go and ask and speak and get the help that you deserve. So there's so many people out there in all sorts of different situations and mental illness doesn't care about who you are, what you do for a job, what your income is. It can just crawl up on you. And I've had that before where everything outside in life is going great and just that depression just kicks in. It's an absolute shit kicker. So for anybody out there that's doing it tough, get the help that you deserve, and congratulations again to everybody at the Broncos.
It's not only
behind that.
It's not only the person that's going through it. It's if you know someone or you're affected by someone that's there's a lot more than just, well, I don't have a mental illness, like it doesn't do anything for me. Like you would have known someone that will, or you've known a family or someone that's been affected by it. Like I 100% guarantee that everyone in this world has been affected by mental illness at some point.
Yeah, you're right. And look, I know firsthand that it didn't just impact me; it impacted those very much closest to me that I guess had to endure it as well. So again, congratulations to the Broncos. They did perform incredibly well. Yeah. It's still difficult to get a read on where the Broncos are at.
Oh, mate, I had a look at the ladder today. It's difficult to read where the whole bottom 13 are. Actually, you put a line through Gold Coast, Titans.
Knights, gone. Parra,
gone.
Probably gone.
Yeah.
Tigers.
I don't think they're gone. They're one win away from... They're one win away.
I know. It just... Their recent form, they're 0-4.
Yeah.
In recent form. And it's a tough one with the Tigers. That game against Penrith, that tackle from Scott Sorenson, holy Jesus. Like, what a play. I don't know if you watch it, Cheese, but honestly, Scott Sorenson comes up with a play on Jerome Bula with 6 minutes to go. It's 18-14. Bula would have scored with a very kickable goal, conversion rather, and just a message out there to anyone on last play: do not stop. And look, I know what it's like playing in the middle. And Sorenson's on the left edge. He gets all the way over to the right, and he just tracks back. He goes just in case. That is the example that all coaches want to see. I've been guilty of it. It's play 5. Let them get the kick in. I'm not on the bit to go and put the pressure on the kicker. Watch it go over your head. It's up to you, back 3. You guys deal with it. Sorensen makes the decision to get back there because he senses danger. He senses the game's on the line. That is one of the best tackles I've ever seen. Like, that keeps Penrith's season alive. Like, it really does. They're now, I think, 5-1-7. They take on the Warriors next week, and nobody from State of Origin will back up due to the logistics nightmare and the travel time and the recovery. It's just not worth it for them. But Scott Sorensen, if they play finals this year, if they win it this year, they should
thank that
build
one play.
A statue and say Premiership number 5 is all down to Scott Sorensen. If they get in the 8 by a point, which they could do, they build a statue of Scott Sorensen outside Penrith Park with this new stadium. Just maybe want to go back to the government for maybe whatever a statue costs. That tackle was absolutely insane. The Tigers are now feeling the heat. Benji Marshall questioned.
Yeah, what did you make of the comments he said?
I think he was right. Fundamentally, he's right.
What?
That the referee did cost him the game.
Did he?
Yeah, but the kick, the penalty on Luai, just I'm with Benji on that.
I don't know if I'm allowed to bag the refs without getting a fine.
No, Byron won't be paying it, mate. So. you just stay on the fence over there.
I think the refs did an incredible job.
Yeah. Jerry Sutton was great again today at Accor Stadium. No, I'm look. Benji will likely cop the brunt of this, but
He didn't directly say the refs, though, did he? He said that they're not to blame.
I don't think you need to be.
Yeah, I know, but I like on. You can't be guilty for those comments, can you?
Well, I don't know. But basically what he was alluding to, what he suggested, I think he was right.
Never make assumptions, Jimmy.
No,
Never. He
okay.
could have been talking
Sorry.
about their partners or something.
Yeah, maybe.
The reason.
You could be right there, Cheese. I like your way of interpreting the situation. The Bulldogs against Parramatta. Can I just start by saying Parramatta were amazing in defence. They just ran out of energy. They ran out of petrol. Their past 2 games is the blueprint for their success. They made some shocking errors coming out of trouble, like 4 or 5 times out of yardage in the second half. But all the talk will be about the introduction of Blink-182's What's My Age Again, 23, Lockie Galvin. He was... all eyes were on him every time he was on the bench. He was up. Yeah. Bulldogs fans were getting excited. He finally took his jacket off and the roar went up. They've got a new hero.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Like he performed so well. Like I'm interested to see how long this Toby Sexton starting, locking Galvin on the bench, how long that will go.
Well, to be fair, Toby Sexton was really good. Like I think he played probably his best game of the year.
Exactly.
Like best game of the year, Toby Sexton.
Exactly. What's going to happen?
Well, we'll get a chance this Sunday.
Do you know what about Lockie Galvin, though? I watched the post-match interview. He looked bloody happy.
Yes, he did.
He looked bloody happy, like genuinely happy, not like the post-game, like just make up a smile. And, he looked genuinely happy. And who wouldn't be? They left the team and come in 15th to go to the first place team. It's not a bad trade for the bastard.
No, you're right there. But also, like, playing in front of nearly 60,000 people on a Monday.
And 40,000 are watching you.
Yeah. That's,
only.
Like, that's... Yeah, it would be overwhelming, and he performed really well. He'll get his chance this weekend because... I think New South Wales are going to name Matt Burton in 18th man. Or they have named Matt Burton at 18th man. So he is ineligible for the Bulldogs. They get caught up again. So
they've done that on purpose, haven't they?
There's the logical choice that he takes over that 5'8".
I think the Landis or someone's given up a call, given Laurie Daly a call, said, mate, we need you to pick... The ratings will go crazy.
So you reckon it's ratings, but no.
I got a funny story. I was actually playing COD while the game was on, Call of Duty, for people that don't know, and I was playing with like this random dude, and he must have been a Doggies fan because I was watching the footy on the other screen, and every time the Doggies scored, I was like, what are you doing, mate? And he's like, oh, Doggies.
Oh, dear. But yeah, the Bulldogs, I think I would have liked to have seen how that game goes and Parra not make those mistakes coming out of trouble in the second half. They were just under a mountain of work. But they were impressive with the way they held. Yeah,
it's tough for them at the moment. But they're like when you watch them, you don't think they're a bottom side.
Not the last 2 weeks.
No,
and that's it. We can get caught up in results.
Yeah,
and a lot of teams do. But there's so much to like about this Parramatta team, and I think with Riles, they've certainly improved, and I think next year they could be a real force.
And who's to know what's happening with the transfer market?
Well, they've got some players on big coin there that aren't playing first grade, so there'll no doubt be some changes there. Our Instant Classic, which is all thanks to Classic Sportswear. Check out in the link in the show notes to become a Buy Round Classic VIP member. Trust me, it is worth doing this. They are our official apparel partner of the Buy Round podcast. Classic Sportswear, whatever your team, from internationals, NRL, Super Rugby, or the grassroots, Classic does it all. 319 game veteran Josh Papali'I only goes and scores a bloody double.
Bloody dog. It had to be against the Rabbits. But I was not impressed. Like the kick, now that was impressive.
He's been practicing.
Yeah, obviously.
You don't kick it as good as that off if you've not had a practice.
I'm almost giving him kicking duty while he's on. Did you see? It went straight down the black dot, and he barely touched it, and it went flying.
He's been practicing that, and obviously Strange took over the goal kicking duties, but I reckon he's got some stiff competition from Papali'I. It was a great game.
Yeah,
like those opening exchanges, and then there was just a period through, just that midway through the second half where it looked as though Canberra like just stayed in the middle. They were specifically targeting.
I feel like
Souths.
It started in the first half, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
with you.
but
I feel like
the Souths were answering back.
Yeah, but I feel like the first 20, when the floodgates opened, but I feel like the first 20 we played so well, and things were going our way. But I felt in like the last 10 minutes of the second half, I could see the momentum that Canberra were building. They got that try, and then come out second half, that momentum was still going.
Stranger's try just before half time, like that gave them such a boost. It was interesting. I was watching the game, commentating it for Triple M, and I could see Tommy Starling pointing at middle defenders. So they came with a clear plan to stay through the middle third.
Yeah, I think they've been too critical of my team. Like, I think our bench probably lacked the spark that it needed, because the starting team done such a great job to lay the platform, banging people. But I feel like when the bench come on, that the impact and defence went off. There's a lot of slipping off tackles, a lot of arm grabbing, and the running wasn't as good. So maybe that's something we'll look at.
Yeah,
me and Wayne,
but
as coaches.
Tip them off. This is what we were talking about on the background. What do you think? It obviously very emotional time there at Canberra, and it was great to see Ricky Stewart on the sideline.
Was he crying?
I don't know if he was happy.
I don't know if he's just an ugly happy face, or he was.
He was whatever emotion it was. It was a joyous one, whether it was tears of joy or a smile of joy. And what a sliding doors moment where Papali'I, a long time ago, actually signed for Ricky Stewart at Parramatta, backflipped on the old round 13 deadline, stayed and remained loyal to the Canberra Raiders, and then Ricky Stewart finally joins up with him. It's a bizarre set of circumstances, but it was great to see those scenes with Ricky Stewart
what
and
a
Josh
human
Papali'I.
being he is, honestly. I just watched the post-match press conference, and like he was holding back all those emotions, and then, just that little touch at the end to show you his true class when he shouted out that poor girl that's going through chemo. So.
I think he does it every week. He
writes the name on the wrist.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm upset for the Rabbits, but I'm very happy for Josh Papali'I.
He's I know he's coming towards the end. I think this year's his last year. Josh Papali'I peak. Nightmare.
Yeah. Well,
nightmare.
Yeah, he broke. I think he broke Craig Bellamy one time. Broke him. I was in the coach's box. What do you mean? Well, Josh Papali'I scored a game-winning try in a semi-final against Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in the coach's box. We were up 18-0 at half-time, and they won 20-18, and it was the last 10 seconds, Papali'I went over under the post. And Craig was in the box, and he walked over in the corner of the box, and he went down on his he was still standing, so he's on his feet, but he went down and crawled into a ball and just went, ah! In the corner of the box. Are we the weirdest thing you could possibly have fucking seen? And I don't think I was ever allowed in the box again, because I went in the box at half time. We were up 18-0. I wasn't in there for the first half. So I'll go in the box, and then the whole half was just fucking torture.
Oh my God. That's so Josh Papali'I has a tendency to make coaches emotional one way or the other. One of the the interesting things from this weekend, Thursday night's game, the Manly Seagulls up, I think it was 16-0 at half-time, and then boos are echoing around McDonald Jones Stadium. Newcastle fight back. It was a brilliant fight back. They actually fought back again because I think it was Tommy Talau scored, I thought, oh, that's heartbreaking. Poor James Schiller, he'd had an absolute mare of a game, but he had some valuable contributions. And then the comments after the game from Coach O'Brien, I mean, talk about instant regret. Like, instant regret.
Yeah.
But it took him about 12 hours to issue a formal apology. For me, I found
ChatGPT formal apology.
I found it so bizarre to be, even if he thought that, why would he say it?
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
it's
Like,
a spirit of the moment thing, but
his team's just won, and the story should have just been, look, they booed us, you know what, we got the win. Yeah. You know what I found funny? He goes...
Yeah, but he's an emotional guy. Do you know? Have you met him?
I've met him, but
he's a very emotional guy.
Yeah. You know what I found brilliant? Like, well, first off, he goes, though, they don't know their footy. Look, it's a Thursday night in winter. You're playing Manly. Like, they're the diehards that are there. They're the absolute diehards. To give up their Thursday night, Friday work, like, in all likelihood, we know about the demographics of Newcastle and how they're such a working class town. They're the diehards that are there. So they saying they don't know their footy. But then for me, the best thing was those people that are booing, they're probably the same people that were cheering at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, because they did, the ones that booed didn't leave and then tagged, hey mate, do you want this free ticket for half time? Hey, here we go.
So it's a great observation, though. Well played.
Yeah.
Nothing gets past Adam O'Brien.
He'd be hating the fact that he said it. He'd be so remorseful of it.
Oh, you reckon? I don't reckon. I reckon he give a fuck about that apology either. I reckon he's gone, hey mate, can you write me up an apology? Just post it.
The thing is, though,
that's what I reckon.
So you don't reckon it was...
I don't reckon none of that was, no way, not one word of that was genuine.
Okay. The thing, where he might come to regret it is when his coaching future's on the line. And people will say, mate, you said this.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you said this, like, about the fans. And if things turn worse...
He can't say it, but I'm half on his side. Don't boo your own fucking team.
Mate, I've been booed off. It's just par for the course. And it got the response. I get being booed is horrible. Horrible. But the fans don't, and he said about the age of the players and the fans don't give a shit about how old you are. Like, oh, this team averages, 22 and a half years, we better not boo them, but if they were a bit older, we could. Like,
they give a fuck when they want you to leave.
Yeah.
When you're old.
Like,
get that fucking 36-year-old out of our team.
Like, I don't think the age of the players comes into it. But it was for me, it overshadowed.
I'm glad that you picked up on that like comment that he said. How he's like, with such a young team, that's the saving his jobs ass, I reckon.
Yeah. It's like, it could come back.
We shouldn't have won with the team we've got.
Yeah. Like, I know you're saying
I'm doing such a good job.
Maybe, you know what, Cheese, maybe you're right, and the apology was disingenuous. I don't know.
Oh, have you read it?
But I listened to it, yeah. But where it might come back to bite him in the arse is when his future's on the line, and that will be given. That will be an example of, and that passionate group of supporters probably feel a little bit aggravated by his comments.
Yeah. Well, if he said it, he probably meant it. But honestly, he said it was a dumb thing to say, but he's probably correct in saying that because every fan doesn't know footy. Because if you're actually a player and you've played and you actually really understand the game.
Yeah. The Wars, Cheese, they are flying. Luke Metcalf, some of their young forwards are playing outstanding football. The Sharks, though, they had that great performance against Melbourne, and they lost against a very undermanned Roosters team that they should have won. And then this game against the Warriors actually thought to be favourites. Look, I think the Warriors are doing some fantastic stuff. They played well, but there's got to be some big question marks around the Sharks. I've got to say, Charles Nickel-Cluxter's try save on Hamlin Welly just before half-time was a huge moment. I was critical of the Warriors keeping him at fullback and not getting checked there. Maybe that's being proved to be wrong. I don't know. I probably still think
it's definitely proven me wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong.
I think Charles brings bucket loads of effort, but maybe in the big games, you're going to need more than that. You get, like, Charles will give you 300 metres and 30 carries. That's not up for debate. But when the touches of class are needed, I just wonder if Rodgers better at executing in those big moments.
I think they offer the exact same game.
No way. I'm sorry, no.
I reckon they do.
Out the back of shape, you'd rather.
I'd say
you think they're the same.
Roger would more likely run than pass. True.
Yeah. So
what does Chance do? I probably was more.
I think out the back of shape.
I think I was
dangerous.
result-based judgments.
Yeah.
On Chance Nickel-Cluxter.
Yeah, but in regular NRL games, yeah. But when it comes to the crunch and they need an opportunity to ice,
yeah, I think it's too late now.
It's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant now.
It's too late to change, but I still think Rodgers more of a threat out the back of shape than what Nickel-Cluxter is for edge defences, personally. Sure.
Yeah.
You've got to give credit to the Warriors, and inspired by Luke Metcalf, they are charging for a top four.
I think the top four is pretty well set.
Yeah.
Like, they're too far ahead on wins. Like, the top three are definitely, and then Melbourne, it's hard to put them in.
Yeah, they're going to...
Like, I feel like that top four is going to be Bulldogs, I think Canberra is finishing on top. The way they play.
Canberra minor premiers. Yeah. They've got 3 buys left to go. And they've got
when I looked at the thing, it said played 14 and Bulldogs played 11. I was like, what the fuck?
Do you know the remarkable thing about Canberra?
Their buys are in the perfect places as well.
I think they started the season 1-4.
No.
Or they were 2-4. They definitely didn't start well because they've got a ridiculous run. They won in Vegas. And then they lost their next 2. I'm almost sure of it. Is that right, Charles?
2-2 after 4 games.
And what? So they went win.
They win, and then lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Say that's what Mike said.
Yeah. So they won their first 2, and then they go lost, and I think it wasn't the best start when you can you look at that record like that, but they'll be minor premiers unless they get a horror run of injuries. Tamale out, which is devastating. I loved watching him play.
He's such a fucking good player.
But I think you're right. I think that the top 4.
But he's not bad. I think it's just a low grade.
It's No, I think it's a kneecap. I think I read Ricky Stewart said it's kneecap.
Oh,
a couple of months. I think he will play.
They said MCL at the game.
Yeah,
because at the game they said on the thing they said it's a low grade MCL.
Yeah, I think he will play again this season, which is great for him. But the Warriors so impressive. Some big question marks at the Sharks because they're that team that I think they're the closest. Obviously on the ladder they're the closest, but I think even on paper and what we've seen this year they're the closest. Obviously highlighted by that gutsy win against Melbourne. There's some other teams there that have got potential to kick, and if they get hot, but I just think the way the top 4 are, they've just got too many wins on the board.
Yeah. The top 3 definitely.
Yeah, it's a great competition.
It's probably the best, the most even competition I've seen in ever. Yeah. Apart from the top 3, the rest, I think there's one win between 6th and 14th.
Yeah, it's something like that.
One win.
But this is where the ladder is so annoying. I think the Cowboys are in 6th. They got 5 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses, right? So there's teams that have got 6 wins that are below them. But Penrith,
Bunnies have 6 wins.
Yeah. and they're out the 8. It drives me crazy. So I only look at the win-loss. But Penrith, so they're compared to the Cowboys, who are 5 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses. Penrith are 5 wins, 1 draw, 7 losses, and they're in 13th. It doesn't make sense.
Are they low? Are they 13th? I think they're 14th.
I'm not. I think no 13th. Well, again, who cares? That's their record. Like, and that's all that matters. When all the buys are taken.
And these couple of games this next game is so important for them.
For
Penrith. Their origin.
Well, they've got the Warriors, so they're going to lose that.
I don't know.
They got to buy this.
They got the bye this week.
They'll get that one
into Origin, and then they play the what? But again, I think we, as a ladder, we should really be looking at just win-loss record.
I don't know why the bye's even there. It's pissing me off.
Yeah. We don't like Canberra have got the most wins. They should be top. They've won more games than the Dogs.
Are they not on top?
No, Dogs are top. Now, there was a point the other day looking at the live ladder. There was a team on 8 wins above a team on 10 wins. I can't remember the order. I was like, this is stupid. They're absolutely stupid.
It is hilarious.
It was just bizarre. Anyway, just a quick touch. I think Taylan May is about to announce a deal with the Tigers. I think it's going to be on a trial type scenario. What's your reaction to that, Cheese? Do you know Taylan May at all from being around the traps or?
Been around the traps, maybe not around his traps, but they're a bit scarier than the traps I've been around. But no, I've met him. He's just like Terrell, like except
Really?
yeah, like the mindset in that they're very similar people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not a lot of care factor goes into what other people say.
Yeah.
They're free spirits. They act the way they want, but he's a committed person. Like whatever he's into, he's committed to.
I think I got to give him credit for getting the help that he.
Absolutely.
To go to a mental health facility is a big deal. Like that's huge from him.
Yeah,
and he's obviously got this goal to play football. He's taken obviously a significant drop from what he would have been at Penrith. Gets to play with his brother.
Yeah. But he's a fucking gun. Mate, I was hoping he was getting Bunny's gig.
Playing ability, you can't knock.
Yeah.
I guess it's
But
the things around the game.
I think he needs to be at the Tigers. I think that's the right play for him because he's got his older brother.
To keep him
in check.
Yeah, it's a good shout there.
Yeah.
Speaking of his other brother, or the May brothers, Hull KR, what a win! Like they probably didn't deserve it, but your old mate Jared Weir-Hargreaves is a Challenge Cup winner.
Oh, there we go, mate. He's fucking dead set just a winner. He knows how to win.
Warrington deserved that victory, deserved the cup, but they lost it in the dying moments. It was a strange game, brought back a lot of memories for me. Love my time at Wembley Stadium lifting the Challenge Cup. Got to do that.
What is the Challenge Cup?
So the Challenge Cup, Cheese, is a tournament in England that every single club enters, and I mean every single club. So the Coogee Wombats would enter.
What?
So in the opening round, you got all the amateur teams. We're talking like all like Group 7 from NRL, like Group 7.
Has any team like from Group 7 won it?
No.
Or like what's the lowest division that's won it?
I don't know. Not in a long time. Like not in a long. So any team enters. The Navy enter it. The Army.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Like everybody enters.
Isn't getting like suiting up against.
Well, it actually happens where some of those teams get to the round where the Super League teams come in.
Yeah,
and it has happened.
That's fucking cool. So we need to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's basically rugby league's version of the FA Cup.
I would love to see that because I feel like there's some quality teams in New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup that could probably challenge some teams that are going around.
It would be a great concept to introduce over here. And then the finals played at Wembley, so I got to do that a couple of times at St Helens. Some unbelievable bus trips.
Sick.
When I was 11, we were the team that
the under 11s can join.
Well, no, thankfully not. We were the curtain raiser for the Challenge Cup final back in 1997 at the old Wembley. Right, I can still remember it. Like, it was such a cool experience. But we all got, slayed by the groundsman because, like, Wembley, like, the turf, it's like...
Yeah, golden.
Like, national stadium. Like, we were all, like, ripping up bits of grass, putting them in our shorts to take home. I, like, sprinkled Wembley grass on my mum and dad's garden. Like, there was... Yeah, but the groundsmen were going absolute ape shit at us. We were, like, digging, like, proper digging holes out of it, so...
Well, yeah, well, you don't do that. I did that for Queensland, though. Under 15s, I got to go on the field and watch them train. I think it was Etihad Stadium, but I took grass, put them off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right, Cheese. Well, that's about all we've got time for.
Right.
Thanks for coming in on this late Monday evening. Thanks for listening, everybody. Great episode,
for the listeners, Jimmy.
Great episode with Paul Gallen. If you haven't already checked that out, make sure you do. And we will catch you all in the week.